This is BNN, the Bennington News Network.
We normally go right into the citizens' comment period, but tonight I'd like to deviate just a little bit due to the various situations that have occurred within the last 48 hours, and would defer to Stu if you could just share with the board and the community what you know, anticipating the concern that the community has relative to the criminal activity in this town.
Yes, there actually have, over the last several days, have been 3 armed robberies in the community. The police department has obviously taken them under investigation and is aggressively pursuing leads that they have. One of the things that we have done from a preventative viewpoint is we've reached out to all merchants who use drop boxes late at night to, should they need an escort or think they do, please call. We've changed our patrol timing of schedules. Obviously, we believe that this person is a person who lives or resides in and around Bennington, and we hope to bring the persons or persons involved to justice relatively quickly. But I can't say more than that. Obviously, there are ongoing investigations. We would ask the people in the community, if you know or suspect that you know that someone is involved, and there are people in this community who know of the people who are involved in these armed robberies, please contact the Bennington Police Department. It is extremely important that we gather as much information from the community as we possibly.
Just to dovetail before the board comments, we have basically a need for a community watch in this type of circumstance. We know neighborhood watch. You look out for your neighbors, but we've got a broader concern and issue, and we don't want this to be a scenario that we have to repeat over and over, and it may be an isolated individual with the different events that have transpired. But at the same time, I think we have to be vigilant and vigilant, and also I suggest that the merchants are going to have to take some real aggressive steps to make sure that they monitor their facilities, because we don't want our businesses at risk. And we're going to do whatever we need to do, whatever cost it takes to make sure that our citizens and our merchants are protected. Jim,
just one suggestion. I'm very good friends with the owners of Martin's Mini Mart who were robbed, and for many, many years I had my cart across the street from the bank that they did business with. And I remember thinking back several years ago that there was a clear pattern in their behavior when they made deposits. And it's apparent that the people that robbed them last night knew of that pattern. So my suggestion would be to do something different. Don't make it so predictable.
Yeah, it's unfortunate in today's situation that you have to change your lifestyle, but you've got to be responsive, right? Other folks, Donald, would you like to offer any comments, or do you feel like we've got?
Thank you for the report, Stu. We've all been wondering about it.
Any questions that you have, Michael? Comments?
It's interesting that we are in a border town, and it's easy to get out of this town and get over into another state within about 5 or 7 minutes. So it seems that whoever is doing this knows how to get the hell out pretty quickly, and there are a lot of places to hide. We just need, yes, we do need to be vigilant. We also need to be probably be sharper in watching who comes and goes.
John?
No real comments. I'll rely on the heavy hand of the law to figure this out, as I know they will.
As you say, we will get you.
Yeah, that's right.
Justin?
No real comment. Just it's an unfortunate situation. I can imagine there's a lot of people out in the community that are very concerned about it. Just as we all are here, and I trust that our police department is going to work on this till they find the perpetrator, and I'm sure they will. So
thank you.
Keep your eyes out.
Sharon?
just everybody be vigilant, and I have faith in the police department. I know they'll do their job.
You've heard the town manager, our comments, reactions, and you probably have the same feelings, folks. And, we're a select board ready, willing, and able to hear your concerns and the like. And if you would just come up and identify yourself if you'd like to speak on the subject, it would be appropriate, and so we can get the word out through CAT TV and other, the network providers that, in fact, we're not going to tolerate that type of situation. But Chris, I think you'd probably like to comment.
My name is Chris Wright. I'm a resident of Bennington. I've been here since 1960. I was born and raised here, and with the exception of a couple of years that I left and smartened myself up and came back, I'd probably be here for the rest of my life. I am going to speak on this issue, and I think everybody's doing a great job. This is probably, would seem to some people, an impossible task to try to figure out one of these things. And I know from the inside, I worked in law enforcement for 6 years, and I know it's difficult sometimes to come up with the answer to some of these things. One of the things that we haven't employed here is help from the public. There's a lot of people in the community that want to do things. I don't know if anything's come up yet. One of the questions was, is there a reward for information leading to the arrest of these people? Can anybody speak to that?
Only to the perpetrator of the Willie's Market. There was a board specific to that robbery. The others have just occurred, so there's nothing at this time.
How is that handled? Is there a way that we can come up with that money to do that, to offer that out? Can we do that as a town?
Well, the rewards that are offered in the Willie's robbery were generated by private donations, and that's one way to do it. The town could possibly offer rewards in concert with additional monies to make it more attractive for people to come forward. But I think at this point, that's too early for these two that just recently occurred. But if things don't go as well as we hope, then more than likely you will see some sort of reward offered.
And who handles the reward? Does the town handle that? Or?
It's the police department.
The police department?
Yeah, they are handled with the police department. As you know, we have a website, a Facebook, and we also have the anonymous tip line. Please use those if you have people. I can tell you there is quite a list of people that have been generated for the Willie's incident, and those are being tracked down and investigated. We would ask that you not simply call to point the finger at someone you don't like. Please take this seriously. These things take time, and investigations take a lot of effort on the part of the department in order to bring charges for someone. So.
Stu, do you know the anonymous tip line? Can you offer it now?
Right off the top of my head, I do not. I'm sorry.
We'll have that before we get to that next. I was wondering the same thing.
I'm not a man of very many means, but can somebody take this and put it where it can be well used?
I can do that for you. And I'll match your donation, Chris.
Thank you. Hi, my name is David Taylor. I'm actually a resident of 196 North Street, so I'm like right next door, almost to Subway. Does anyone know what the response time was for law enforcement to show up to any of these incidents?
I don't.
No, don't have that
I haven't seen
information.
the report. I think it's probably just being developed, isn't it?
Well, for the Subway report, yeah, it's under investigation. I don't have that information with me.
No, because one of my things is I used to be a firefighter from North Bennington for the longest time. And I used to have the scanner app that Paul Doucette, I think, so mercilessly had taken off the air. And it's taken them so long to get to places. I like the idea of the neighborhood watch being instituted into our town, but I think that app should be brought back because, I could have been down at Subway possibly doing something to help save that business's money. I know I don't wear a badge, but I do believe in this town, and, I don't think it should go down the drain because we have riffraff coming in. So I mean, I'd like to see that app reinstituted.
Appreciate that, David.
Well, if I might jump in, I think it's very important, and I think all of the employees that were involved in these situations handled the situations properly, and that is they did not resist. When you're faced with an armed robbery, it is better to simply give the money over than get into a fight, because someone's going to get hurt, and if the perpetrators are armed, it's most likely going to be the employee. So I appreciate your willingness to jump in, but
I mean, I totally respect that. I would, not go there.
Vigilanteism.
Grapple them. I would,
Well, I would argue that vigilanteism is not what we're looking for here. We're looking for help. We're looking for eyes on the street, but we're not looking for people to actually jump in and get physical with us.
I understand that. It's sad that I live right next to Rite Aid, and I have coworkers asking me if I'll walk them out. I don't work there. They're asking me if I'll come there and close them to walk them out to their car.
And I appreciate that. It's a safe thing to do.
Sad. I mean, I'd like to see that Bennington PD also put officers back on the beat in high-profile areas like that, like we used to have. We used to have them on foot around those high-profile areas.
Well, we're on foot where it's appropriate, believe me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Lisa Rhodes, North Bennington firefighter, American Red Cross Disaster Action Team member. I've been a longtime resident, born and raised here in Bennington, and I just wanted to express my concerns with the long stream of robberies that's been going on, the drug problem, everything that's hit my town. It's made me feel unsafe to take my young children out in public. I would like to see more of a police presence. I know you say they're out there when necessary. I'm out there all the time. I rarely see police presence. I've known Paul outside of his duties long before he became a chief, and I'm pretty sure that if he wanted to and got his voice heard, he could get more police out there, and that would make a big difference and a help in our community, along with getting eyes on the streets from everybody in our community. Do not turn your heads. Do not walk the other way. Make the phone call. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nicely stated. Anyone else?
My name is Michael Stern. I have been a resident of Bennington since May of 2010. I love this town. I hate to see what is happening, and maybe there is a high-tech solution. I know many towns, especially in Europe, have cameras on the street, and perhaps some of the entryways and exitways of Bennington can be monitored so that you can review tapes, maybe up to a week. You can keep them and see what the traffic was so that you'll have some clue as to who was there and when. Just a suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We're not unique. We are facing the same dilemmas that many small towns are facing, but frankly, we want to separate ourselves. So we can look at examples of success stories and other ways to be responsive. I think it would be foolhardy for us to expect that we're just going to return to the 60s and 70s when the degree of respect between law enforcement and the public was a given. So we do have to be diligent. The neighborhood, the public watch, I think, is the most critical thing about trying to maintain the quality of our community. So all of these things have to go into the mix, and I can tell you that, hope to tell you that through Stu, that this individual or individuals have been apprehended and are going to be subject to whatever justice that is proper. But let's see what happens. And but at the same time, be proactive, and I think this board is certainly willing to do that.
This is BNN, the Bennington News Network.